So what were other things that we worked on? Well, we had death traps for roads. The road between Claremore and Pryor was a 2-lane road with no shoulders. And every time you took off, you hoped that you didn't get blown over by a truck or that you didn't have a flat, because there was no place to pull over. It's that simple. Because I represented both Claremore and Pryor, and there had historically been a competition or competitive nature between the communities, and I wanted to end that. I wanted us to work together rather than to view ourselves as rivals. And so, once again, because I'd been put in the position that I was in, and my community stood with me and let me have 8 years, 4 terms as President Pro Tem, I decided I was going to make the difference that I could, every way that I could. And so I went about getting the funding and making sure it stayed in place for Highway 20 between Claremore and Pryor, which now is a wonderful 4-lane road with wide shoulders, and that's actually a wide road compared to some of the new things that have been built. But it wasn't just Highway 20, although I'm very proud of that because it was so important to Pryor. It was Pryor's big project, bigger to Pryor than it was to Claremore. And it was important that we do that. And it was important that we also then create and improve on a branch campus for what was first Rogers State College and later Rogers State University for Pryor. But the other thing we did for Mayes County was we had one of the great industrial parks in not just this region but the U.S., the Mid-America Industrial Park, where Google is now located. But at the time we had once again a 2-lane road that left Highway 69 to go to the main part of the industrial park. Well, that's a terrible way to market a great, great asset. And so one of the things that working with Senator Kevin Easley, who represented that area as well, that we did, was we 4-laned that road so that we had a road worthy of a great asset, the Mid-America Industrial Park. And to this day, that remains something that helps recruit business and industry to Mayes County. But there were other roads. Highway 88 between Claremore and Inola, another death trap. And one time I was asked to come to a meeting in Inola, and they said, we want to improve this road. And I said, well, let's just go 4-lane it. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? We only want 2 lanes. But we want shoulders. And I said, let's go 4-lane it. So we did in part. It was supposed to be 4-laned all the way. And ultimately, they waited until I was out of the office of President Pro Tem, and then they made the rest of it 2 lanes with shoulders that are still better. But we got a big portion of it 4-laned, once again, for what was a death trap of the road with some of those curves that were out in that area between Claremore and Inola. The same thing with Highway 169. Between the Rogers County line and Tulsa, that was one of the most dangerous roads in Oklahoma, and maybe more deaths per capita than just about anywhere else in the state. Small 2-lane road, lots of traffic, no shoulders, growing area. I made a commitment to the people in the Oologah-Talala area. We were going to fix that. And one day we were ready to do a road bill. We did 2 road bond issues in addition to just regular road bills. And I remember there had been a very bad accident on Highway 169, and we'd done some work on it, but finishing it was beginning to be in question. I called the Secretary of Transportation over and said, we can't let this continue to happen. And I said, let's work together on this. And he did. His name was Herschel Crow, and along with him and Neil McCaleb and Gary Ridley as Secretaries of Transportation, they were very helpful in making this work. All these road packages. We had a similar situation with Highway 66 between Claremore and Chelsea. You would get to past Foyle near Bushy Head, and it became it was a 4-lane road, then it became a 2-lane road again. And another death trap, no shoulders, no place to pull over. And so I'd made a commitment to the citizens of Chelsea that we would fix that road as well, and we did. And so I like to think that we went from being near the bottom to near the top of the quality of our transportation during that time because of the opportunities that citizens gave me. There are a couple of other things that occurred, though.